Welcome to the Angus Report, the week's top Angus stories broadcast on the web by the American Angus Association. I'm Bob Cervera. Our top story for the week: raging wildfires have devastated Texas ranchers throughout the state in recent weeks. Extreme drought and strong winds have fueled widespread fires, burning thousands of grazing acres and fence lines. American Angus Association Regional Manager Jared Mernon reports.
This is a record-breaking wildfire season in the state. The state has never recorded this many acres burned. Currently, about 1.8 million acres has been burned in the state in 2011, and I believe all but 2 counties have had some form or fashion of a wildfire. So it has really affected the whole state and a lot of people. The Texas AgriLife Extension has really stepped up to the plate to try to help ranchers that have lost part or some of their grass. They're accepting donations monetarily as well as feed to help producers cope with the fires. But it just depends on your situation. Some folks have lost all their grass. They're currently evaluating whether to look for leases or sell their herds.
Visit the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association website at tscra.org to learn how to help ranchers affected by Texas wildfires. Feed, fencing, and monetary donations are being accepted. When the Grain Inspection Packers and Stockyards Administration, or GIPSA, first announced proposed changes to its rules on livestock marketing last summer, the cattle industry ignited in debate. Producers, both for and against the proposed rule, flooded the USDA agency with more than 65,000 comments by last November. Now, while the USDA reviews the comments and conducts its own analysis, the Certified Angus beef brand has voiced its opposition to current language in the proposed rule. In a recent letter to Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack, Certified Angus beef President John Sticka said the rule, as currently written, endangers value-added cattle markets built on quality genetics.
The core of what creates concern on our part of what the value-based marketing opportunities look like moving forward is the very vague description of how they move forward with defining competitive injury or the likelihood of competitive injury. It's not that we're opposed to perhaps the need or the effort to redefine some of these terms, but it's the vagueness that is left in the proposed rule that really creates us concern. The logic that we walk through takes us to the fact that we're going to see an increase in litigation. And it's that increased level of litigation that lead to a reduction in the number of value-based marketing opportunities, is that we simply see a weakening in the economic signal back to the production sector. And we revert back to a commodity-focused, selling cattle on the average type of system. Anything that risks the effectiveness of the market and being able to communicate the consumer's voice in the form of premiums back to producers is a major concern to us and to the viability of this brand.
Some reports forecast a decision on the proposed GIPSA rule as early as this fall. Visit angus.org for more information as it becomes available. Escalating corn prices continue to have a detrimental effect on cattlemen's pocketbooks. In this week's Market Focus, Dr. Darrell Peel of Oklahoma State University explains how feed costs and other factors could play into the cattle profit equation in the coming months.
Short term, at this time of the year, we're already starting to second guess the next corn crop. We know we have very limited supplies to get us through the rest of this corn marketing year, which takes us through the summer, but we're already worried about where we are next year. And so that will continue to be a focus primarily of volatility in the market and an expectation that we will continue to see relatively high corn prices. On a long-term basis, I think permanently higher corn prices are likely to be our future, and I think that has some long-term implications in terms of structural change in this industry. The beef industry for many, many years on the basis of cheap grain has evolved to be a very grain-intensive industry, relatively speaking. And I think long-term some of those tendencies will change a bit, and the industry will move back away from a little less grain intensity and put a little more emphasis on forage-based production systems.
And finally, the Sure Champ Angus Hour aired April 25th on RFD TV. Segments from the live program are now available at angus.org and include helpful tips on show cattle nutrition, daily care, and show ring preparation. Visit angus.org to learn more. That's all for this Angus Report. Join us next week when we provide the American Angus Association's latest news and information. Until then, visit our website, Facebook, or Twitter pages for articles, videos, and more information. Thanks for joining us.
We've been using Cattle Mail USA since 2002, and we've been really pleased with the response that we've gotten from all of the Cattle Mail web blasts. It's really worked out well for us.
The email blast that Dan set up for us this time was unbelievable. It was a real good success. I mean, I've never got more response. And as fast-paced as this world is, this web-based deal is where it's at.
I would never go through a sale without using Cattle Mail USA. Through Cattle Mail USA, we've sold cattle coast to coast. As time's progressed, we're all going to have to use technology to our advantage.